Hey, what's up everyone, Andy here from Krusty Plug, and thank you very much for joining me for yet another video. And first of all, Happy New Year to you all guys. It's my first video in 2020 and certainly my first video in a long time. I've been off my YouTube channel probably for about 4 months or so. Kind of feels a bit crazy, but the reason I've been off, very simple reason. I had some stuff to do on some other priorities basically, and YouTube certainly wasn't on the top of my priority list, so I had to kind of just simply ignore it and leave behind. But I'm back now, and hopefully without any major foreseeable interruptions, so I'll be trying certainly to do at least one or even couple videos a week, and I got absolutely tons of stuff to catch up on. And today's video is going to be exclusively about some PS2 video game pickups. And as you may be noticing behind me, I've been also doing some work in my well, this is not really a gaming room per se, but I have kind of turned it into a little gaming room. This is actually a dining room in my house, which is not really used on day-to-day basis or hardly ever used at all. So I juggled a few things around and put in some IKEA shelves you're seeing behind me. It basically kind of goes to the back wall and on the side wall there as well. And I probably going to do a video at some point to show how it all looks. Yeah, you can kind of get a glimpse of it behind me. So that's yet to come. Anyhow, today, as I said, is going to be about a PS2 game pickups. So I've got a little pile here to go through, so let's jump in. Okay, first of all, got here The Simpsons Hit and Run. I actually had this already, but on a platinum version. I'm guessing I had this at some point as well as a main release, but probably sold it, so I managed to pick this up. Let's see if I got price here. Yeah, I paid 99 pence for this. So pretty cheap. This game I think holds a little bit of value. Not certainly mint copy, but decent enough to justify 99 pence. Then the next one I got here is Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End. I had this already in my collection, but the case was in rather poor condition and it was missing the manual, so I picked this up because it was complete, and I only paid 25 pence for it, so it was worth kind of rebuying it to have a good quality complete edition. Now this is an interesting one, well, not really an interesting one, but I picked this up, Lemmings on PlayStation 2, and this is one of the iToy enhanced games. I have never played this. My understanding is you don't have to use the iToy to play it, but it's iToy enhanced, so there are some additional stuff you can do with iToy. That is my understanding, but I might be wrong, so if I am, then let me know. But I paid only 25 pence for this, but where I really scored with this, when I was buying, I opened up the game to check, as I always do, whether, check whether there's manual in the condition of the disc. And when I opened it up, I was greeted by this 8 megabyte memory, Sony original memory card. So that was a nice score, that I got a game on a free memory card. Now next one, not in the best condition. The artwork is slightly damaged in the bag, but not the worst. Paid only 20 pence and it's missing the manual, but I picked up the platinum version of True Crime Streets of LA. I actually got this already as the main release, as the original release, but I do kind of also collect or rebuy the platinum versions if I don't have them, and I didn't have this, so it's not complete, missing manual, but for only 25 pence I thought I'll pick it up for now, and then at some point later on I might be able to pick up either manual on its own or rebuy a complete edition. Then next one here, I paid only 13 pence, so cheap as chips. And it's unfortunately not complete, missing the manual, but for 13 pence I thought it's worth picking up because I didn't have it in my collection, and it is Madagascar. So I have never actually played this, so well, kind of lying there. Yes, I have never really played it properly. I think when I bought it, I put it in my PlayStation 2 to quickly check, and I played about 10 or 15 minutes. And actually, I have to say, I did kind of enjoy it, so I probably will go back at some point and play it properly to see what's what. But yeah, didn't have that one. Now, didn't have this game at all in my collection, and this is another Platinum edition, and I paid only 20 pence for this, so I was pretty chuffed to pick this up. And it is Need for Speed Underground. I believe I had this before, but had sold it, so I'm got it again in pretty reasonable condition. So, and I paid only 20 pence, so pretty chuffed about that. Then paid £1 for this, and it's in really good condition, or well, yeah, I would say really good condition. It's a bundle copy, but still picked it up, and it's Buzz Jr. Monster Rumble. Didn't have this in my collection, so decided to pick it up for £1. I cannot quite remember. I looked at what it kind of sells for, and I think it goes about £3 or £4, so for the £1 it was kind of a fair deal. Then this one here I picked up from my local CX store. I do sometimes pop in to check what they have on offer, and if I see anything out of usual, maybe a slightly less common games, then I do try to pick them up, because sometimes these games are less common and out in the wild, and harder to find, so I'm happy kind of to pay a bit more if the game is kind of less common. So I picked up Shadow of Memories. Not an expensive game, but I kind of haven't seen it out in the wild really, so when I seen this in my local CX, I decided to pick it up. And I paid, I think, I've actually got a receipt here. Yeah, I paid £4. The only thing is, it's got writing on the manual and also on the disc there. But for £4 I thought it's a fair deal, and it's in quite reasonable condition, so I wasn't grudging about a few little shortcomings. Okay, I actually had this in my collection before, but had sold it like way back when I went off the boil and stopped collecting. So I was pretty pleased to find this in a charity shop for £1.99, and it's actually in really nice condition, and it's Resident Evil Outbreak. I actually have never played this game properly, so this is the one of the Resident Evil games I really want to play, because I am, I would say, not a die-hard Resident Evil fan, but I do really enjoy Resident Evil games, that kind of all the horror survival genre. So I'm actually genuinely excited to pick this up again, and I'll be definitely looking to play it at some point. Now, yeah, this one here, next one, it's another Platinum release. What did I pay? 20 pence I paid for it. I actually had this in my collection already, and I had Platinum version, but my previous copy, the case was in poor condition and it was missing manual, so I decided to pick it up again, and it's Prince of Persia Warrior Within. Quite clean and nice copy. So yeah, I was pretty pleased to pick this up for only 20 pence and replace my rather poor copy. Then this is another game I picked up in my local CX store. I haven't really pulled off the stickers yet and haven't cleaned the case, so it needs a bit of cleaning, but in reasonable condition, complete with manual, and I paid £6, and it is R-Type Final. I think it's, what it's called, I told you my mind went totally blank. I was going to say, is it like rail shooter? No, it's not a rail shooter. I was going to tell what genre of game it is, but my mind went completely blank. Anyway, guys, if you know this game, you know what I was trying to tell. So I paid £6 for this. Not completely expensive game, but again, one of these games I haven't really seen out in the wild. So when I seen it in my local CX, I decided to pick it up. They say here shoot 'em up. It's not shoot 'em up. It's not shmup, but I really cannot remember. Now this is an interesting. I picked this up in charity shop and I paid, I think, about 20 pence for it, or even less. But it was kind of like a weird one. So basically, I walked in one of my favorite charity shops locally because they got normally games on really good price. And seeing this King of Fighters Maximum Impact, got really excited because as far as I know, this is kind of a rare game and it's got holds a bit of value. But when I opened it up, there was only one disc inside. I think it's 2-disc game, as far as I know. And I didn't initially, I didn't even clocked what was inside, and then I was kind of gonna not to buy it, leave it behind because it was missing a disc. It wasn't complete, but then I realized it wasn't even the main game inside. What was inside actually was the Kings of Fighter The Saga Continues, which is a different game, and also the Saga Continues manual. So it was disc and a manual from different game. So I decided to buy it because now I have a game and a manual, so I need to pick up the ultimately an empty case for it somewhere, probably buy it off eBay, and then I get the case and artwork for King of Fighters Maximum Impact. So, but that means I need to pick up discs and manual at some point, find it somewhere. So yeah, decided to grab that anyway. Then had this game already in my collection, but when I picked this up, again I paid something like 20 pence or even less, I can't remember, it was some bundle deal. No, 20 pence. I have a little sticker inside to remind me what I paid. I knew that I had this game, but when I picked it up, it didn't even register what I was looking at, and I thought it feels somehow different. And then I realized what was the one I actually bought it and took it home and realized what I have bought. The game's called The Thing, which obviously you will be aware of. But it's not a PAL version, it's actually an NTSC, it's a American release, Northern American release. So you can see actually the M-rated for mature, and on top there it says NTSC U/C. So despite the fact I had that game already, I'm kind of happy I picked this up because if I do find any NTSC releases out in the wild, I'm still happy to pick them up as a kind of a side hustle, so to speak. Then I'm pretty sure I used to have this in my collection, but probably sold it at one point as well. So I was happy to pick it up again, and I paid 20 pence for this, and it is a copy of Colin McRae Rally 3. So I cannot even remember whether I have properly played this. I probably have back in the day, but yes, I didn't have it currently, so I re-bought it again. Then I'm pretty sure I had this as well at some point, but had sold it at some point again. So happy to pick this up, and I paid again only 20 pence. So kind of a lot of these games are, so to speak, probably fillers rather than anything else, because I'm probably not gonna play many of these games for much, if at all, and thus I'm not really looking to pay kind of big bucks for them, or the kind of going retail value. So I'm pretty happy to pay only something like 20 pence for these and pick them up. But it's I think this is actually pretty good. I started to replay it, or play it actually for the first time, because I never played it month ago on the PC. but never really committed fully to it, so I maybe need to go back and play it fully. But it's a original copy of Red Faction. So here we go, and it's in fairly decent condition as well. Then again, I'm pretty positive I had this, and again had sold it, and again I rebought it from Charity Shop for only 20p, and it is The Great Escape. Okay, so original release of Great Escape. I don't think I ever had this in my collection, so this is a kind of the first, and a rather clean copy, and paid 20p for this, and it's a copy of Speed Kings. Yes, I reckon I never had this before, so that's a brand new pickup. I don't know whether it's actually any good game, but for only 20p, even if it's just a filler, I was pretty happy. Then this is a little bit weird one again, which I think was part with that other game I just mentioned, which was the King of Fighters. Picked up this one, which allegedly supposed to be Midnight Club 3 Dub Edition Remix. Case is in rather nice condition, but inside got a manual. Manual is there, but I don't have the actual game, and what I also have inside is the game and manual for Midnight Club 3 Dub Edition, not Remix. So this is Dub Edition, so manual and the game, and ultimately the disc for Dub Edition Remix is missing, so I got a case and the manual but not a game, so I need to pick up the game, the disc, and I need to find a case with artwork for the just Dub Edition. Manual's got a little sticker, but hopefully that will either come off, or even if it doesn't, then it doesn't bother me. So yeah, again, I think I paid something like 20p, so it's really pick and mix option there, but for only 20p, it's fair game. And this is my last PlayStation 2 game to show to you guys today, and actually just picked this up earlier on today from my local CEX store. I actually had to return one of the GameCube games I bought recently. I bought 007 Nightfire, and never noticed that the artwork was pierced at the back, so when I took it home and kind of was cleaning it up, I noticed the artwork was damaged, so I decided to take it back and get something else. They didn't have any other GameCube games I was happy to buy at the time, so I decided to see if they got any PlayStation 2 games, and they had this, which I didn't have in my collection, and it's Tenchu Fatal Shadows. £6 it was, so I was pretty happy to pay that price. In reasonable condition. The disc, I think, had a little bit mold in it or something, but the guy put it in a cleaning machine, resurfaced it, and it actually looks, at the moment, I think, yeah, it looks like brand new basically. I cannot see any scratches on it. I'm not entirely sure the market value. I kind of briefly checked on eBay, and I think it actually goes for a little bit, or quite a bit more than £6, but maybe I didn't see all the current listings because I just used the barcode scanner to scan it into eBay and check, but it was coming up at much more than £6, so I'm not sure what's the kind of the eBay value on it, or you know, online shop value, but for £6 I was pretty happy to pick it up. And that's it, guys. So that is my latest PlayStation 2 game pickups. So nothing too major, but apart from the couple games I have, or 3 games I think I have bought out of CX store and paid a little bit more money, all these other games were fairly cheap from charity shops, and there will be definitely a couple games I probably will be playing at some point, but even if some of these games are only for fillers, I'm still was happy to pay only £20, so I'm talking about 20p. So yeah, all in all, I'm pretty pleased with this little haul. Okay guys, so that wraps up my PlayStation 2 game pickups. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button. If you are new to this channel, please consider subscribing. And if you feel like it, you can always leave a comment, anything at all, just any questions, any feedback, anything at all, please drop down below a comment. And I got stack loads, as I said earlier on, I got stack loads of other games to share with you guys, so stay tuned. The next video hopefully will be coming soon, and I shall see you in the next one. Take it easy.